Good morning, everybody. How you doing? What's going on? How have you been? Hopefully you had a good weekend. This is Shadows of the Moon, otherwise known as Missy. Um, we're gonna be talking about some stories going on. We have some do not yeah, blah, blah, I can't even talk now. Demonic sounds at a Colorado restaurant. We have some handy basic guide to hauntings, different types of hauntings. We have going to divulge into some stone theories. Um, the weird world of stone tape theories. Hey, Lucid, how are you? We're going to look at a haunted abandoned resort in Bali. What else are we doing? We're going to talk about some time travel. Freaky time travel. And then, last but not least, I'll show you the new clip to a documentary coming on about um, Skinwalker Ranch. Can't wait to get that. Man, I want to go there so bad. That is my number one ultimate place to check out is Skinwalker Ranch. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake. Hey, Lucid. Yeah, I know, right? Let's go. Too bad they don't let anybody in there. It's guarded just like Area 51, and like it's so funny that I say that because in the trailer that I'll be showing, that's what he says. It's the paranormal, it's the Area 51 of paranormal. It's my number one place to go. I want to go there so bad. I want to sit down with Robert Bigelow, who owns it, and talk to him and ask him why he freaking bought it. Right? Right? That's what I mean. We'll buy some bolt cutters, just walk around for a little bit. How are you doing, Lucy? How was your weekend? Hopefully it was well. Hey, Lunar, how are ya? How you doing? How was your weekend? So yeah, Skinwalker is my ultimate number one place to go. If I could go anywhere to do an investigation, it would be there. Awesome. Good to hear, Lucid. It was pretty good. That's awesome. My weekend was pretty good. That's why I look like this today. I've gone back to working 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. So my body's getting used to it again after just working for 5 hours, 7 days a week. I know, there's some places in Florida I'd love to go. It's just so hot there. It's so humid. No, I love Florida. Um, I haven't been there since I was like 16, but uh, yeah, I would love to. If I had all the money in the world, I would travel all over the place, everywhere. I would travel everywhere. Hey, freaky geek, how you doing, hon? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yeah, I just wish I wish I could just travel all over, grab up my equipment, and just travel and do ghost hunts. You know, I I would absolutely that would be my dream job. Definitely, definitely. So yeah, so like I was saying before you guys came in, we're gonna talk about apparently in Colorado there's a restaurant that is having people are hearing demonic sounds and the police don't know where it's coming from. Like nobody knows where it's coming from. Can you imagine going up and ordering a Big Mac and hearing screams? or growling or anything like that. I'd be like, I need my order without a ghost, please. So let me go ahead and pull that up. So let me get my chat back up. There we go. Really, Lucid? Really? That's cool. That's wicked cool. Okay, so it says, imagine you're in a fast food restaurant at 3:30 a.m. Yes, you're probably drunk and or have a hangover. You hear some screaming and making demonic sounds. Do you A, check to see if they're coming for you? B, ask if for your Happy Meal to go and run like crazy? Or C, wait for the police to show up because this is the most fun you've had at 3:30 a.m. in ages. Wow, that is wicked cool, Lucid. See? Oh, that's awesome. Oldest ghost mine in Colorado. That's pretty cool. That's where I want to go to is some old mines. Oh, don't get me started. So they say, now let's say you're an employee at the same fast food restaurant at the same ungodly hour when you hear the same ungodly scream. Do you A, quit and run? B, make the new kid check it out? That would so be me. And C, wait for the police to show up because this is the most fun you've had at 3:30 a.m. in ages. Damn. All right, we're gonna have to schedule something, Lucid. Definitely. Definitely. So apparently at about 3:30 this morning, officers responded, oh, this is February 13th, responded to a business in the area of Pueblo Boulevard and Northern. Employees reported hearing a woman screaming and making demonic sounds, to include speaking in a strange language and barking. They were so unnerved by the sounds that they said they wouldn't go back inside until after the sun came up. 3 officers searched the area but didn't come up with the source of the disturbance. Pueblo Police Captain Tom Rummel gave his report on the department's Twitter feed, where it was picked up and reported by the Pueblo Chieftain and crickets. There have been no other reports of this writing of these or any other demonic screams at McDonald's. Hey Zach, how you doing, hon? What could have created the sounds so horrifying that employees, even after getting all clear from the cops, refused to enter until daylight? Was it an ill woman, as some suggest, a prankster, or something else? Pueblo is an old West city with many reasons to be haunted. The Fort Pueblo massacre that occurred on December 25th, 1854, was a attack by Native. I don't know how to say that American or Native American name, Wachayutes, over the killing. I don't know if that's Native. The killing of one of their own that results in the deaths of 15 men and 1 woman from the fort. The city had a number of orphanages and an insane asylum, now called the Colorado Mental Health Institute of Pueblo. Wow, that's cool, Lucid. That's so cool. Which are traditional magnets for ghosts and screams. And the Great Flood in 1921 caused the deaths of over 1,500 people in the town. Do you does the whole town, Lucid, have that feel, that eerie feel? Like some towns do, you know what I mean? Like that's why I love ghost towns. It just has that feel because you don't see people walking around, you know? However, there is also a possibility that This is one of those apparitions that seem to like McDonald's restaurants. William Morgan died under mysterious Freemason related circumstances in 1826 in Lewiston, New York. Oh, I wonder if that's the guy that stayed in Batavia, where I'm from. That's why connections, man. That's so weird. Um, and his ghost was heard rattling change at McDonald's on location that was once a Masonic temple. The appearance of the mysterious giggling haunting girl haunting the restrooms of the Idaho, Oklahoma McDonald's and the occasion Flushing would know one around incident causes one employee there to quit, which I would quit. Hurry back, freaky geek. No, I wouldn't quit. I would go investigate. Who am I kidding? The McDonald's at Suero, Texas is built on the state of a gas station where a child was tragically run over and killed and a mechanic was crushed under the car lift, causing both of their ghosts to haunt the restaurant. If you're looking for screams, a McDonald's in Colorado Springs, just up the road from Pueblo, is haunted by the spirit of a Native American man who is heard walking and rattling keys, and screams have even been heard in the kitchen. Rumor has it that the restaurant is built on an ancient burial mound. So all these stories came from the Week in Weird, which is an awesome site. If you guys haven't read it, it's very cool. The last Colorado tale makes. I'm reading it off of Mysterious Universe. The last Colorado tale makes us wonder if McDonald's in the Pueblo might be also built on Native American graveyard. Another frequent source of ghosts and scary sounds and incidents. Is anyone interested in checking? If you ask the employees, the answer is probably A, no, B, hell no, and C, you first. Would you? That would be wild. We don't think of like McDonald's and all that being haunted. You know what I mean? We don't think about those little things happening. Well, yeah, you kind of had to, Definitely. Okay. Sorry guys, I had to refresh my restream bot there. But really? That was that scary. I mean, any call like that would be that scary, definitely. But I mean, like just imagine living there, you knew what was going on there. And yeah, I can understand that, not wanting to go. I can totally get that. All right, so the next paranormal thing I have going on here. So, what do you guys think about the stone tape theory? Can things, haunt items or places because of where they're located? It says, while ghosts and hauntings have been with humankind since as long as we have entertained the notion of the afterlife and the possibility of some part of us lingering after death, there has been so many debates on what ghosts actually are. I agree, Lucid, I agree. For many, it might seem obvious that they are disembodied spirits of the dead, doomed somehow to wander through the reality they left behind. But it's not always that simple. There has actually been much speculation among the paranormal aficionados, as to what ghosts really are, ranging from the conventional spirits of the dead to decidedly more fringe ideas like interdimensional interlopers, demons, and even time travelers. And I have covered this here before. This is also from Mysterious Universe. Sitting among some of the most intriguing um, things on the nature of ghosts is what has gone on to become known as the stone tape theory. The basic concept of what is known as zone tape theory basically boils down to certain locations, whether it be due to their construction, geological makeup, or some other unknown factor, have the ability to store mental energy or psychic impressions from certain past events, recording them in a sense, if you imagine if images to film, kind of like the same theory, how it goes. It is speculated that under certain conditions, these events, usually more traumatic than better, or more traumatic the better, can imprint themselves upon the landscape and be played back like a videotape, leading to people seeing what they take to be ghosts, but which are in fact merely images from history being projected into reality in an endless loop. These mysterious images are not always visible to everyone, typically only appearing to those who are sensitive to the stored energy or keyed into it somehow, although it seems to depend on the place and the exact physical properties it holds, with quartz, crystalline rock, granite, or limestone typically said to be the most conductive in storing these place memories. Yeah, yeah. See, and that's kind of like what I study when I do research on hauntings and stuff like that. I go a little bit deeper. I go into like why people see what they see. Um, and some of the notions have led me back to um, it's not the pineal gland, but it's the glands on the side of the pineal gland that actually where they think Alzheimer's comes from. Hey, PWI, how you doing, Sherry, hon? How you been? Hopefully all is well. You had a good weekend. So the idea of the environment and the land itself can store past events and memories that has basic roots back to the 19th century and the work done by mathematician Charles Babbage in 1838. Babbage, also sometimes known as the father of computing, came up with the ideas that due to the transference of energy between particles, spoken words could leave permanent impressions in the air itself, which could become audible at certain times, even long after they have been spoken. And he once said, the air itself is a vast library. On those pages are forever written all that man has ever said or woman whispered. At the time, Babbage explained it was very concrete, scientific sounding terms and made it all sound perfectly plausible in his book, The Ninth Bridgewater Treatise, in which he writes of his theory. Oh, well, pray that your tests come out good, hon. I will definitely pray for your test to come out good. I'm doing good, thank you. Thank you very much. So, the pulsations of the air, once set in motion by human voice, cease not to exist with the sounds to which they gave rise, strong and audible as they may be in the immediate neighborhood of speakers, and at the immediate moment of utterance. Their quick attunative forces soon becomes inaudible to human ears. The motions that have impressed on the particles of one portion of our atmosphere are communicated to constantly increasing numbers, but the total quantity of motion measured in the same direction receives no addition. So that's kind of what his theory is about why things stick. We can still hear, even though our voices, we can't hear it, that vibration is still bouncing all over, which is weird if you think about it. I mean, it's not weird, right? Because when we talk, we're setting things in motion. We're setting those vibrations in motion. So it's just catching them at the right time, maybe? Yeah. So it definitely makes sense. So I wonder if that's why sometimes we pick up EVPs and sometimes we don't. We just have to be in that right, kind of like that AM FM vibration, you know? Exactly, Lucid. Yeah, exactly. Just like Nikolai Tesla said. Yeah, Nikola. Sorry, my bad. Um, but to think that in our world, right, yeah, the frequency, right, exactly, Lunar. Exactly. But it's just wild if you think about like in my head, because that's how my head works. I'm seeing like sentences bouncing all over the world. Everybody's speaking you know what I mean? That's just how my mind works. Um so this idea of inanimate objects holding the memories and utterance of living really began to take off, gaining support in such 19th century psychic research as Eleanor Sedgwick and Edmund Gurney, who further populated or postulated the buildings and places could hold these echoes of the past. There were also researcher William Fletcher Barrett, who believed that inanimate objects such as furniture or buildings could be imprinted with this psychic energy that could be detected by the living. Oh, thank you, Mary. In certain cases of haunting and apparitions, some kind of local imprint on material structures or places has been left by some past events occurring to certain persons who, when on Earth, lived and were closely connected with that particular locality. An echo or phantom of these events became perceptible for those who now living. Yeah, definitely. So holding that, I mean, it's pretty cool to think about it because you know, as investigators or whatnot, I mean, sometimes we don't think about the little things. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, PWI. Thank you so much. But yeah, we don't, you know, I mean, some people do. Some people think about this stuff all the time. Um, but it's like in our daily lives, it's the little things we don't think of. And yeah, it becomes energy. Exactly. Exactly. And it's just cool to really go back to the basics and read this stuff again and be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. You know, I don't know if that makes sense. Told you I'm tired. Yeah, exactly. It becomes energy. And energy, you know, it's just really cool to really go back and think about the little things. Or maybe I'm just having a nostalgical day and I'm just going to be like this all day. um, the idea really picked up in the early 20th century in days of spiritualism, during which time it was a common referred to as place memory. University of Oxford professor and former president of the Society for Psychological or Psychal Research, Harry Price, was a major proponent of this idea. In 1938, asserting that places and even handheld objects could hold the residue of past events, which could then be divided by those who knew how to do so and the ability to call it psychometry. My mouth is just not working. He truly believed that this could all fit into scientific ideals and could theoretically be tested if only we knew how. Exactly, Sherry, exactly. I did not know Price could have fur. What did I say something like that? Did I You guys know me. um, they place the place memories must consist in some more or less permanent mode of arrangement of the molecules or atoms in infraatomic particles, of which the walls, furniture, etc., are all composed. So that makes sense. If something gets broke, I wonder if that's why there's more hauntings, or not hauntings, but um, more evidence of spirits around when we're doing construction. Are we breaking them apart? Not breaking the spirits apart, but breaking those molecules. Hmm. So we're letting the energy out. Right, Sherry. Yep. You heard Harry Price? I can't deny that. I might have said that. Who knows? No worries, Lucid. Hey, Lil Red, how you doing, hon? So that makes sense, though. If we're breaking up, we're doing construction, we're rebuilding something, we're hammering that crap, and we're letting that energy out, basically. So that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Welcome back, Mary. Even with my brain the way it is, it's making sense. So these ideas floated around and were discussed right up into the modern times, when they gained a lot of attention from British archaeologist turned paranormal researcher Thomas Charles Lethbridge in 1960s. Aw, thank you, Mary. I am doing well, thank you, Lil Red. And you're right, Sherry. Nobody knows anything. We could just like guess and theorize. He said he believed that there was a sort of surrounding ether or a field that was intermediately, or okay, let's try that again. That was an intermediate medium between spiritual and physical reality, which surrounded places and objects and could hold invisible fields that record past events etched into them like movies. Excuse me. According to Leithbridge, certain places associated with pain, suffering, or death were especially likely to hold these fields because that's more energy. I can understand that. Um, and that it was more pronounced in places of high humidity due to water molecules helping the process along. So convinced that Leithbridge that was that this was a real scientific possibility that he believed most, if not all, hauntings and ghost sightings could be explained by simple past events replaying through these fields through non interactive visual and audio representations. And he wrote extensively in his 1961 book, Ghost and Ghoul. Of course, you have to remember that back in those days, they didn't have, the recorders that we do and stuff like that. So he might have not have been, well, I don't know. 1961. I'm trying to think if like he knew about the difference between, residual hauntings and, you know. Hey Ron Weaver, how you doing? Or Weasley, Ron Weasley. I don't know where Weaver came in. I'm so sorry. But welcome. How you doing, Ron? Hey Joseph, how you doing? Right, Sherry. Yeah, yeah. I don't like breaking mirrors. I mean, I'm not a big superstition person. I'm really not, but mirrors is what I don't know. I have a freaky attachment to mirrors and it's scary. Oh no, freaky geek. I wish I could help you on that. I don't know. Um Good to hear, guys. Good to hear. But yeah, I just got generic headphones. Good to hear. I'm glad you guys are doing good. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, freaky geek, exactly. Mirrors just they've always done it. See, and that's one of my theories of why like the activity downstairs is coming through the mirrors because that's something I believe in. Do you know what I mean? To where and shadow people, obviously, I believe in them because I see them all the time, but to where other people wouldn't fear that mirror because they don't believe that they're like portals like I do. If that makes sense. Right, right. Kind of like I don't believe, and this is just don't, when I say this, don't get me wrong. I believe people experience this and they have problems with this, but I never have. And um in my 46 years of life and all the investigations I have been on, I've never once come across a demonic entity. Okay. Now that's saying that I think it's because I don't believe in it. This is my theory anyway. It's because I don't believe in demonic I I believe in the experiences. I'm just gonna, hopefully you guys understand. I believe in experiences. I believe people have had experiences. And I believe that they're truly possessed by something. Do you know what I'm saying? But I've never experienced it. I've never had it. I know I'm protected immensely. Um, but I think it doesn't happen around me because of the fact that I don't believe in it in my world. Not in your world, not in your guys' world, but not in my. Hopefully, making you guys understand. Yes, Mary, I have heard that. But because I believe in mirrors being portals, that's why my haunting was toward the mirror down there. Does that make sense? Right, exactly, Freaky Geek. Thank you. I That's what I was trying to explain. Other people believe differently, so their experience is different than yours. There you go. Yes, Sherry, there's a lot of dark mirrors. I totally believe that. So it's like I don't want to offend anybody. Your beliefs is your beliefs. That's what this channel's all about. You guys have heard me say that all the time. And everybody's thoughts are welcome here. Right, Little Red. Yes, I believe the experience, and I totally believe that these people, I mean, I've seen the hurt and the scared in their eyes. I totally believe in their experiences. Totally. I would never doubt anybody's experience, ever. That's true, Sherry. We would be boring, wouldn't we? Mary. If I made a house of crystal, I guarantee in 2 seconds it would be broke because I'm clumsy. My husband's clumsy. So it would all be busted. So anyway, let's get back into this. So yeah, so do you guys believe in the stone tape theory? I mean, obviously some of you guys do. I've been reading. Um, and then we'll move on to the next. I definitely believe in stone tape theory, and it makes sense. Yes, we are, Sherry. That is true. That is very, very true. That's Ron, exactly. Always a bull in a china shop. You got that right. That's exactly how I am. Yes. So true, freaky. So I came across this article and I so want to go here too. Not more than Skin Rancher, because Skin Rancher or Skinwalker Ranch is my Skin Rancher. Where the hell did that come from? Skinwalker Ranch is my ultimate favorite place I want to go. Freaky. But I was reading this, and this might be my second place. I love ghost towns. Exactly, Sherry. Definitely. We all have our own experiences. That's exactly right. I agree with you 100%. The best tool is yourself. Yes, definitely. So this mysterious haunting, I love ghost towns. I absolutely love it. I think because they make me feel so awkward and like eerie. But this one's in Bali. Can we all go? It says sometimes haunted places are not what you might envision them to be. Other than decrepit old houses or a dark forest, sometimes supernatural forest seems to be drawn to the place that are anything but. There are bright, happy places in the world that have also seemed to be pervaded by the powers from beyond our understanding. And one such place can be found in the tropical island paradise playland of Bali, where a luxurious resort site abandoned, looking out over its domain to invite tales of the truly bizarre. Nah, you'd be fine, freaky geek. You'd be fine. It says lying out in the westernmost of the lesser Sonda Islands of Indonesia is the island of Bali, known for its pristine beaches and sun-soaked island paradise, postcards perfect, great, good looks, as well as an expensive coral reefs and incredible biodiversity. It is no wonder that that place has gained a reputation in being Indonesia's #1 tourist destination. And indeed, tourism makes up the vast majority of Bali's economy. Here, tourist resorts have sprung up like weeds, seeking to cater to the droves of fun seekers who come here for frolic in this tropical paradise, swim or scuba dive in its azure waters. Many of these resorts have gone on to become extremely popular and successful, yet among these were the others that have gone along a different path. And one of these abandoned hotel resorts towards which stories of ghosts, demons, and other strangeness have gravitated towards it for decades. Hi Donna, how you doing? Freaky geek. I'm doing good. Thank you very much. Welcome, welcome. So look at that place. Can you guys see? Let me do my little thing here. Look at that place. Isn't that gorgeous? I so want to go there. What is officially known as Bigul Takum Rockrisi. My lips just aren't going to say that. Hotel and resort was first constructed in the 1990s in the North Lake region of Bali, perched upon a picturesque mountain ridge not far from the party mecca known as Kuta, and envisioned as a luxury resort like no other area. No expense was spared in this construction, and it would have been quite the posh place to stay if it had ever opened its doors at all. Although the upscale resort was mostly finished, its downfall would lie in the fact that it was bankrolled and conceived of by the Tommy Soeharto, who some of you might know and recognize as the son of the president of Indonesia at the time, and who was neck deep in all manner of scandals and tales of corruption. Most notably, the time he had a judge who convicted him of mass land scam killed. It was a crime that would get him found guilty in 2002 and send him to prison, where he lavished away at a luxury retreat during hard times, lounging about, spending leisurely afternoons drinking Mai Tais to a beach view. Nepotism at its finest. No, freaky geek. I mean, well, it looks boring now because it looks a little overgrown and everything, but to explore something like that, oh my God, I would absolutely love that. Yeah, isn't it awesome, Sherry? I think it looks great. Okay, if you buy it, Sherry, can we come visit it? I'll pay you. So, unfortunately, all that is spelled the doom for the world would be resort, and it was never officially open to the public in any known capacity. It it's mostly furnished rooms, marble floors, and elegant facade begins to slowly degrade and devour by the encroaching jungle. The vines creeping over it, weeds choking it, becoming a feral, overgrown shadow version of what it is or what it had been envisioned to be. Yet it was never torn down either, and so it remained perched upon the mountainside in the highlands, inscrutably watching over its realm and slowly occurring scary stories. With this abandoned resort is hard to know where the truth ends and urban legend begins. Difficult to unravel fact from fiction. Well, I think they should invite all of us and we should figure it out. Oh, thank you, Mary. Right, Ron? I would love to explore that. Oh my God. Oh, well, thank you, Sherry. Oh, thank you, Freaky. You guys are awesome. Me too, Donna. Me too. I just sit there and what it would be like to just walk through there. I love it. Of course, I've always been big into archaeology and that, and I'd love to go to like the Mayan temples. I would love to even the Aztec, all that stuff. Oh, very cool, Mary. Nice to know. Well, I'm glad, Donna, you decided to come in and check me out. Very cool. One story is that the hotel indeed did open to guests, but that One evening, everyone just disappeared without a trace, after which it quietly closed its doors. That would be cool to look into. Another is that it is prowled by spirits of construction workers that died during its construction, their deaths covered up to leave them in limbo of wandering these halls forevermore. Other stories still say that it has a demonic presence and has taken up residency there, and it will chase off anyone who dares encroach on its territory. This has not all stopped urban explorers from descending upon the Ghost Palace Hotel, and one can find myriad videos of people snooping around here. Although the entrance of the abandoned resort is guarded and is technically off limits to the public, it is apparently pretty easy to either sneak in or bribe the security to gain access. Sorry. One urban explorer of the Mumpkin Travel wrote in a surreal place. It said that the hotel is haunted by ghosts of workers who died there during its construction. While I'm not a big believer of hauntings, to be perfectly honest, there were a few rooms where I felt a thud in my heart and my hair stood up on end. And I got out of those rooms quickly. It was very odd. There's certainly a presence there, and an atmosphere is a little spooky. But of course, it's a deserted resort. It's going to be, and that's also part of the appeal. Walking around inside the Bali Ghost Hotel is awesome. It's kind of spooky, and it's so huge and quiet and fascinating. I wish we had stayed longer and explored every room, but we loved what we found while we snooped around. There are a lot of rooms here. Some surprisingly are really small, while others are huge with living areas and large private balconies. Some rooms have the electronic key swipes installed and all have tiled bathrooms with bath. I couldn't see any holes in the tiles for shower attachments. And the toilet, some have walk in robes. I don't know what that means. Oh, maybe they just have robes? I don't know. Most have spectacular views. The lower floors are all caked in mud from the rain, and there's a lot of mold, but it's all surprisingly in good condition. There is no evidence of squatters, so security obviously does a real good job keeping people out. Oh, lucky you, Donna. You saw the Mayan top. Oh my God, lucky you. Okay, Freaky Geek, hurry back. I just want to go to Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know, Ron. It doesn't say anything in this article about that, but that could be definitely a possibility. Right, Donna? Yeah, I don't like to fly either, but I will. Hi, Wendy. How you doing? Welcome back, Freaky. Oh, nice time. It was nice timing, wasn't it? Hey, Lisa. How you doing? Yes, Skinwalker Ranch, Donna. I love Skinwalker Ranch. Okay, with that being said, it's just the hotel has become a little known destination for the burgeoning trend of ghost tourism, wherein people travel to places out of just macabre curiosity and the chance of having their own personal encounters. So yeah, next time I'm in Bali, because I'm there, so much, I'll definitely check it out. Go ahead and click some of these out so I know where I'm at. I don't read the same thing over and over again. Okay, so the next thing on the list, I love Skinwalker Ranch. I want to go there so bad. I just keep repeating myself. um, so what do you guys think about time travelers? Do you think they're out there, or do you think they're, you know, what's going on? There's a couple stories that have Like, I'm not talking about the people that say I'm from 2036. I think that's one of the articles. But that have traveled. You think they're out there? This, of course, again comes from Mysterious Universe. This is my main theme today is Mysterious Universe. Time travelers, Cherry. If that's what you're asking, what I said. Time travelers. Not ones that come from, that come back and say I'm from this time, but just stories of time travel. So this one, if you've read about time travel, you might have seen this video. There's some videos going around of people in old movies, like this one that I'm going to show you about. It's an old Charlie Chaplin movie. Right, Mary. But an old Charlie Chaplin movie, time flies, like I said. It was in 2010 when one of the strangest of all stories surfaced. Wow, it seems longer than that, but okay, on the internet. And now we're into 2020. So what's that story? Here goes. What was and still remains one of the most fascinating and unsettling stories of a woman in black surfaced in 2010 that had its origins just decades earlier, specifically in the 1920s. It was the story of a truly mind-blowing and surreal proportions in which involved swirling tales of time travel and none other than the legendary actor-director Charlie Chaplin. The controversy began when an old grainy footage that was connected to Chaplin's 1928 silent movies. Little known fact, my grandma used to play piano for silent movies. Um, the, the circus surfaced. Rather incredibly, the film footage in question appears to show nothing less than a black garbed woman holding to her ear a cell phone. And while doing that, her utmost ensure identity is hidden from camera that was filming her, something of which she was clearly acutely aware of. Right? Yeah, it definitely is hard to explain, Sherry. So let me go ahead and play. Can you guys see that okay? I'm trying to get it as close. Let me go ahead and put it in full screen too. So here's see this lady right here? What is she holding? They're just going to show it over and over again. And she's talking. It's not like she's not talking. Isn't that wild though? So what do you guys think about that? Is it possible that they had a cell phone back in, what they say, 1920? I know. I try to do that, Freaky Geek, and it looks like I try to do that, and my photos never come out that pristine. But yeah, so that's what started the whole time travel thing back in the day. And I remember seeing this a long time ago. But I was like, no, that's not the one I want. There we go. And being like, wow, okay. And that got me, of course, got me curious. I don't know. Well, I'm going to talk a little more about, there's a couple stories. I don't know, Dana. I don't know. Right, Ron? Project Looking Glass? I've heard of that. I've heard of that. I don't know where I've heard that, but I've heard of that. So here's some stories from mysterious time travelers with convincing stories. There's one in here was the first ever astral projecting. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but that got me way back in the day. I remember watching that and it got me curious about time travel. But one of these stories, and I'll tell you, I remember hearing it and being so freaked out about it. And it's not, I mean, it's not bad to us, but anyway, let me go ahead. So here's one. Pilots see a futuristic plane. Air Marshal Sir Robert Victor Goddard was sent to inspect an abandoned airfield in Edinburgh in 1935. It was dilapidated, in which he made note. He got back to his plane and took off, but heavy rain and low visibility prevented him from going too far. So he turned around and headed back to the airfield to wait out the storm. As he approached the landing strip, something very strange happened. The clouds cleared, the sun shone bright, and he saw that the previous abandoned land was now bustling with mechanics in blue jumpsuits. There were 4 yellow planes on the tarmac, and one of them was a kind of he had never seen before. Keep in mind, this guy was a military pilot. He was pretty familiar with all the different plane models available at the time. Goddard was totally confused. Had he imagined it? Was he hallucinating? Was it a dream? It couldn't be real, certainly. But 4 years later, he was sent back to the airfield. Far from being abandoned, it was now full use, complete with blue jumpsuit wearing mechanics and yellow planes. And sitting on the runway was a plane he couldn't identify in 1935, a Miles Megster. The Megster was first manufactured in 1938, 3 years after Goddard initially saw it. Goddard's story is convincing because he wasn't even trying to travel through time. Something unexplainable just happened to him. And that's the plane that he saw. Oh, Sherry, let me tell you. Let me see. We talked about this last week. Oh, I love Art Bell's show, Coast to Coast. I mean, of course, Art Bell, we sadly lost him a while back, but and George Norrie does a great job in Darkness. Dave Schrader fills in on Coast to Coast. Yep. Montauk Bay. Yep. Ron, one of the stories that is in here, I think comes from Montauk Bay. If anybody don't know what Montauk is, that's if you ever seen Stranger Things, that story is based on Montauk. But Sherry, saying what you did about the stuff when you see people walk in light shows and they disappear. My husband saw a glitch in the Matrix, basically. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can get him to tell you the story. Okay, guys, a rare treat. My husband's coming to tell you the story about him seeing a glitch in the Matrix. Hold on one sec. The camera's right here.
Oh, that's good. Turn it off. So she was saying, talking about a glitch in the Matrix. Where we live and stay at, we have to go outside to smoke. So we usually go outside, which is facing one of the main roads here in town. And it's well traveled. And I was standing there and I was having a cigarette. And I see this person walking up the sidewalk like any other guy. And then I look up again. And when he took a step and picked up his other leg, it kind of kicked 3 times. And then all of a sudden he was walking again. It was just like he was fading in and out quick. And that's what I got to experience. I thought it was pretty cool. But then again, 420 friendly. I don't know if you, but no, it did really happen. It was broad daylight.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Your first experience with that.
Oh, yeah. It's like I've had a lot of first experiences with paranormal stuff and that since I've been here.
Yeah.
Well, since I got with her.
Thank you, honey.
Have a good day, everybody. We on the kiss cam.
Yeah, we on the kiss cam. Okay, guys. He's not much of a talker when it comes to stuff like that, but that was his little story about what he saw. He came running up and telling me about it, and he was just like, I'll let him know you said that, freaky. But yeah, he never, because it was funny because days before we were just talking about that stuff, and I was telling him about background people, which is supposedly there's background people that really don't exist, but because our minds, we don't like to be alone, we see them as ordinary people, but they're not really there. Or they're there and like put into the Matrix, basically. So him seeing that, he's like, holy shit, she's right. Yeah. Like, that's right. Don't ever, doubt me. No, I'm joking. So yeah, that's his little story. He was freaked out. Don't let him kid you. He was really freaked out when it happened. Oh yeah, freaky. That's what started all this, actually. Me and him were going to do a podcast together, but it's hard with our schedules of getting to work with everything and, all that stuff. So anyway, yeah, that's his story, and he was a little freaked out about it. So another story from the time travel, and I did see somebody talk about the Philadelphia experiment, and yeah, that was a part of it too. Sorry, guys, that I haven't been keeping up with chat. I'm sorry. I'm not usually like that. I'm the same way, Sherry. I'm the same way. Oh, Freaky Geek, you asked about the Philadelphia experiment. I can't remember what year that was, but I know it had exactly, Ron, and I think that's why I'm so drawn to Skinwalker Ranch, because Bigelow owns it. And it's like, why would he want to grab that up? I believe, I mean, I've never personally seen an alien, but I believe they're out there. And again, if anybody is interested in like aliens and that, look up Chad Kalick and watch his Sir No Face. Yeah, Sir No Face. That's the first part of the documentary. His third one's coming out soon, hopefully. But on what that was captured in Australia. Pretty freaking cool. And the weird things that happened since then. Good, Ron. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I hope everybody's enjoying it. Yeah, I get conflicted too, Freaky Geek. I totally get conflicted. Sherry, if you look back in my videos, I was it last week and the week before, I believe, on Wednesdays, on one of my What If Wednesdays, we did the whole KGB book on aliens. A KGB book was found. It wasn't KGB's at first, but they found it and then took it in and hid it from everybody. And it's a whole list of aliens that supposedly have made contact, um, when they last made contact with Earth. Uh, some of them, they know what they're here for, others they don't. Yeah, I'm very conflicted when it comes to stuff like that. So, cool, okay. So, in the next article is journalist experience air raid 11 years before it. Hey, Smoking and G Sharp, how you doing? 11 years before it occurs. Journalist J. Bernard Hutton and photographer Joachim Brandt were sent by German newspaper to do a story on a Hamburg shipyard in 1932. It was an uneventful visit until the bombs began raining down on them. Hutton and Brandt realized they were caught in the middle of an air raid and hightailed it out of there, but not before snapping some photographs. When they got back to the center of Hamburg, no one believed their story. They developed the photos they took, intending to prove to everyone they weren't crazy. In fact, they proved the opposite, that the photos showed no signs of an air raid. 11 years later, Hutton was living in London when he opened up the newspaper and probably nearly spit his coffee across the desk. There was a story about Operation Gomorrah, an air raid on Hamburg. The accompanying photos looked exactly like what he experienced in 1932. That would freak me out. That would be some deja vu from hell. See, I know stuff like that happens. I'm telling you, with aliens, and it's just, yep, the KGB alien book. It was found, yeah, and I know the guy that they've been updating it. They have been updating it and putting the different aliens in there, and yeah, Mandela effect, yeah. I don't know. That would be a big freaking Mandela effect to go through something like that. I mean, I'm weirded out by my whole Fruit Loops things. I can't imagine thinking that you're in an air raid and oh my god. The Green Children of Woolpit. In the 12th century, a young boy and girl were found alone in Woolpit, England. I remember hearing about this story too. They didn't speak English or any other identifiable language for that matter, and their skin was green. That's right, green. They were taken in by a local villager, and though the boy died soon after, the girl survived and eventually learned to speak English. Finally, she was able to tell someone where she came from. She said she had come from a twilight-covered place called St. Martin's Land, and that she and her brother were taking care of their father's sheep one day when they found a cave. They went into the cave, and after walking for what felt like a long time, they emerged in Woolpit. Maybe it's just a folk tale, or maybe they came from the future. After all, their story does sound suspiciously like a time slip. Unfortunately for them, they were not able to get back to where or when they came from. Yeah, that is definitely possible, Sherry, because let me tell you, I've had times, I'm telling you, that where I remember last year, and it has to do with the room downstairs, sitting on the bed, and it was, I can't remember if it was, I looked at the clock and I thought it was like 5:35 or something. And I mean, it could have been my dyslexia. I don't know. I've never been well, I am dyslexic with numbers, but not like turned backwards. But I went upstairs to have a cigarette and was talking to my hubby, and I'm like, well, we should get some dinner. It's like 5 something. And he's like, what? It's only 2 something. And I swear to God, I had just looked at the microwave, and we always clear the time, but it was 5 something. And I'm like, because I remember looking at it going, where the hell did this day go? Where did the time go? You know what I mean? Yeah, Lisa. Yeah. Oh, I agree, Sherry. I agree. I think we are all connected, definitely. See, I even tried to debunk that, Freaky Geek, but I remember it was the feeling of, see, because um being an empath, I base a lot of things, even stupid little things, on feelings. And when something like that happens, I always get the feeling of something's not right. Not like a big red flag feeling or anything, just a little twinge. And I don't know. It could have been that. Who knows? Yes. I mean, from what I was experienced with my near death experience and everything, it's beautiful when we pass away. I think my theory, my belief is we go to wherever we believe what we believe in. I didn't see any landscape or anything like that, but I definitely went into the tunnel that everybody sees, and I didn't see the white light, but I did feel it from like the top of my head, like I knew it was there, type of thing. Until my sister said, "Get home and take care of those babies," and then but like I was telling people with my near death experience, it was totally different from my out of body experience and my astral travel. Well, I can't say the feeling of my astral travel and my near death experience was kind of the same, where I wasn't worried about anything. I didn't know this person. I knew him, but I didn't worry about this person. I didn't worry about this. Even sad to say, I didn't have to worry about my kids. I knew they were going to be all right. I felt beautiful. I felt immense peace. I mean, it was serenity, a peace that I would never hold in this body. You know what I mean? Um, and it was the same for my astral travel. And when I astral traveled, I've only had one of each of these things happen to me. And when I astral traveled, I was looking for the Akashic records. I don't remember leaving my body then. I don't remember. Um, but when I had my near death experience, I remember my out of body experience. I left upward, right? With my near death experience, I left, even though I felt like I was going up, I left out the top of my head, if that makes sense. But it was like when both my astral travel and my near death experience were both the feeling of all knowing. I didn't have to ask any questions. Like when I went up for the Akashic records, I saw them, didn't have to look at them because I already knew everything I wanted. I can't remember now, but it was the same feeling. But I do really, it was like, oh no, yeah, it's hard to explain. Now, with my out of body experience, I left upward, and that was just a quick, I opened my eyes and looked down, saw me and my son laying in bed, because that's why I was laying there. I was trying to get him to sleep. And it was kind of that, what the? Boom, slammed right back into my body. And that hurt like a mofo. Yeah, exactly, Sherry. Hey, Diary, how you doing, hon? Definitely, Lisa. It's not all fun and games. You're right. You're right. Freaky Geek. See, you're opening up. That's, you're opening up. You're hearing what you're supposed to hear, like, I'm sure you were freaked out about it, though. I know how you are. Oh, Diary, that's not good. I hope you feel better, hon. But yeah, get all the rest you can. So the next story, Charlotte Warburton travels through time without even realizing it. In 1968, Charlotte Warburton, I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying that name, Warburton entered a cafe she had never seen before. Nothing seemed amiss, but when she tried to go back a few days later, it had vanished. Charlotte later learned that there was, in fact, a cafe in that spot, but many, many years ago. It had been replaced by a supermarket long before Charlotte claims to have walked in and visited it. I've heard of people doing that, kind of like the elevator game, if you've heard of that. I've heard of people doing that, like going down a different street, and it's like they're walking to work, going down a certain street, and all of a sudden it's changed. And they're like, what the hell's going on? This was never here before. And then, like, the next day, they go to where they are supposed to, and like the next day, the street's back the way that they remember it. Aw, Diary. Aw. Hello, Midnight. Yeah, that's true, Freaky Geek. Hi, Burke. How you doing? I believe that. I believe that, Burke, about Hotel California, that song. I mean, that's a creepy song. Even back in the day when I heard it, it was just like, whoa. You know what I mean? That definitely could be. No doubt. No doubt about it. You can definitely get that feel from it. You definitely get the feel from it. Just thinking about it, I'm like, ugh, you know? A police officer travels to the 50s from 1996. See, my mouth just makes up its own words. I have no control. In 1996, a police officer and his wife were shopping in Liverpool. His wife went into a bookshop while he took off for the CD store down the street. As he walked away from the bookstore, he noticed that everything was suddenly quiet. Then a van that looked like it was from the 1950s honked and swerved around him. Somehow he was standing in the middle of the street, and stranger than that, everyone around him was dressed in 50s style clothing. Confused, he tried to get back to the bookstore, but it wasn't there. It's in the place where the woman's clothing shop named Cripps. So he went into the clothing shop, but as soon as he did, it was the bookstore again. He was back in 1996, but couldn't figure out what happened to him until he learned that Cripps hadn't existed since the 1950s. Take care, Burke. Thank you so much for coming in, hon. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Okay, guys, up next is the story that changed my life and made me look into these things more. Okay? I know. Sherry, can you imagine that going into a store and boom, all of a sudden it's something? Oh, man. I'm telling you. But this story coming up, this is the story that changed my whole perspective of life, I think. I mean, it's one of those ones that's just, the story hit me to the core. Okay? The Man from Torrid. Now here's a map. I'll show you back. I'll show this again when I'm done with the story. But in 1954, a man trying to get through customs at Haneda Airport in Tokyo, Japan, had a bit of trouble with customs agent. It wasn't because he forgot to declare something or his customs forms, but because he claimed to be from a country that didn't exist. And he had a passport and stamps to prove it. His passport was from a country named Torrid, which he claimed was between Spain and France. When custom officials pulled out a map and asked him if he meant Andorra, he became angry. He said that yes, the location was right, but Torrid had existed for at least 1,000 years. He had never heard of Andorra. He was given a hotel room for the night when the police tried to figure out what was happening, even though there were armed guards posted outside his room. The man had vanished by the next morning. His passport, which had been stored in the security office at the airport, was also gone. Officials never figured out this mystery of the man from Torrid. Well, this map doesn't help me. Oh, Andorra, right there. So he was from around this area, but it was named Torrid. That is the story that started everything for me. Right, Sherry? Yeah. Isn't it? I love that story. That's like my favorite story. I mean, like I said, that hearing that or reading that a long time ago, like changed really my perspective on thinking. I don't know, for some reason that story has always stuck with me. I know, Sherry, if only we could do that. If only we could change clothes like that for real, though. That would be awesome, but not change timelines. Jofar Vorin claimed to be from Lexaria. In 1850, a man from Jofar Vorin was found in Frankfurt on the Oder, Germany, and questioned. He spoke very broken German, which made his claims even more difficult to understand. He said he was from Lexaria and spoke the language Lexarian and Albribian. He said he was in search of his long-lost brother, but he was shipwrecked on the way to his destination. Bourne didn't recognize any of the maps or the globes that were presented to him. He claimed that the world he knew had been in 5 sections: Sakura, Afar, Osler, and Ipalar. In the year Book of Facts, Science and Art, John Timms reports Warren was taken to Berlin to be questioned and studied. There was no doubt that Warren existed. The question is, was he crazy? Or was he even was very distant future? Yeah, definitely dimensions. I mean, that would be awesome, Sherry. Yes, it would be awesome. Oh, if we could just do that. Four friends travel from 1975 to 1905. In 1979, Jeff and Pauline Simpson and Len and Cynthia Gisby were traveling through France. When it became late, they decided to find a hotel for the night. They found a place not too far down the road they were traveling. It was an odd place. The doors in the rooms only had wooden latches and no locks, and the windows only had thick shutters but no glass. In the morning, they had breakfast at the hotel and encountered two gendarmes, armed French policemen that were wearing old-looking uniforms complete with capes. I'm sorry. The whole experience in the hotel seemed strange, but not least because the stay only cost 19 francs. Other hotels in the area cost over 200 francs. Still, they happily went on their way, and their return journey tried to stop and stay at the hotel again, except it had seemingly vanished into thin air. And the uniform those French police were wearing, they were from 1905. Exactly, Sherry, yeah. I know, Lisa. I hadn't heard that story either. It's pretty wild. I mean, you know, a 20th century doctor finds himself in the 1800s. In 1935, Dr. Egg Moon was leaving the residence of one of his patients in Kent, England, when he realized it's all in England. It's all in Europe over here. What's wrong with you people, Sherry? No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. I'm just messing with you, hon. But it's true. We're not, I mean, God, there's so much stuff that goes on, and it's like you get caught. Yeah, a lot of people, I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that at all. Okay, Freaky Geek, hurry back. Um, I'm very fascinated with stuff over there just because of all your guys' legends and lore, and oh, that fascinates me. And I think a lot of our hauntings over here in the US are actually not all of them, but some of them could be like from your guys' lore and vice versa. Like the same thing, but we perceived it differently. I don't know. It's just fascinating to me anyway. So, sorry guys. In 1935, Dr. Moon was leaving the residence of his patient in Kent, England, when he realized in his car that his car was not where he'd left it. Both the driveway and the road seemed a lot rougher than he remembered. Dr. Moon spotted a man walking by the house, and he realized that the man was wearing several capes and had a top hat carrying a long-barreled gun. He looked to Moon like he was from the 19th century, not the 20th. Dr. Moon turned to go back to the houses, but as he did, he saw that the driveway was paved again and his car was once again parked in it. He turned back towards the road to look for the man, but he had vanished. No problem, diary. Hey, Dark, how you doing? Right, Sherry? Yeah, Sherry, I watch your videos. I go back and watch them, definitely. It's very interesting. Very interesting. In 2000, a mysterious man named John Titor came to come claimed to come from the year 2036. I'm sorry if I, offended. that that French name I just did. I my mouth was like, no, you're not saying that. Oh. So in November 2000, the Time Travel Institute forum saw a spike in unusual activity. Nestled along The usual conspiracy theories and far-fetched UFO sightings were a string of posts that from a man who called himself John Titor. He claimed to be from the year 2036, saying that the government sent him back in time to 1975 to retrieve an IBM computer, which they needed in order to debug some computer programs. He hopped off his time machine in 2000 for personal reasons, and since was already there, he decided to warn everyone about how crappy the future was going to get. He claimed that civil unrest would begin in the United States in 2004 and there would be a full-blown civil war in 2012. By 2015, he said a quick World War III would have come and gone. And of course, none of these things have happened, so you're probably wondering, why did people believe this? Wignut? It's because his posts about time travel were so detailed. The description of his mechanics and his machine so thorough that it seemed almost impossible that he wasn't telling the truth. Yes, I feel the same way, Sherry. The government does know a lot. Really, Sherry? Definitely I'd love to chat with you about that. Um, it's so funny that you say that because I've always been drawn to the royal family for it's very weird. It's not I'm not obsessed with them. But it's like I don't know, just something draws me to them. And it's not like a normal I can't say that. I'm not crazy. No, but no, it's just something like is off there and I'm always reading stories because I don't know if that makes sense. Really, diary? Yeah. Yeah, something like that, Sherry. Yeah, they live very well. Yeah. Hey, you heard that story before, diary? I've never heard that one. I don't think. It don't strike a bell. Yes, Skinwalker Ranch is in Utah. It's the same over here, Sherry, with statues being torn down and everything. Yeah. Now, okay, I don't know what this story is about, but obviously it's about two men from 1969 drive straight to the 1940s. Heard people do this. Actually, one of my witchy friends that I watch, um, she's actually done this. I don't know. She's got a story on her. God, I can't remember even what she goes by about driving around and not and like passing the same thing over and over and over again until like they turned a different way. It was very weird. Exactly, Ron. You're exactly right. Saying a lot while Bigelow. That's why Bigelow has so much to do with. Yeah, I agree. Yep, exactly. People are waking up. So and then this story it says in 1969, two people were having lunch in southwestern Louisiana town. Afterward, they got in their car and headed back to work along US Route 167, a highway that spans much of the state in the distance. And they saw an old car. As they got closer, they realized it was moving very slowly and they could see the year 1940 printed on its license plate. The two men pulled up alongside the car and peered into it to see if everything was okay. And they were greeted by the sight of a woman done up in full 1940s regalia and a small child, both of whom looked very confused and even, they thought, frightened. They gestured to the woman, indicating that she should pull over and they would help her. As she began to pull over onto the side of the road, the two men stopped a few yards in front of her. When they turned around to make sure she had parked safely, the whole car had vanished into thin air. Hey, Exploring with DP, how are ya? Freaky Geek, welcome back, Freaky Geek. I've heard of that happening too. I forgot who I was talking to or what video I was showing. See, I watch so much stuff that I can't remember. But God, I wish I could remember. But anyway, he was going down the road and he was about to get in. A semi had pulled out. He pulled like out in front of him, and he was coming over. And if, in that instant, he should have been squished. But it was like everything stopped, and all of a sudden he was transported back. I can't remember where I heard that from. He was transported back in like the truck had already shifted and he was behind the truck. Here we go. Preston Nickel and Al Bielek claim they were part of the alleged Montauk Project. And again, if nobody knows what the Montauk Project was, it's where there's a documentary on it. The show Stranger Things is filmed about it. Well, it's based on it. Where they used to kidnap kids and use them for experiments, time travel experiments, and all that stuff. So, at an Air Force base in Montauk, New York, at the eastern tip of Long Island, Preston Nichols claims some sort of top secret government time travel experience took place. Nichols writes in that the Montauk Project experiments in time that in the 1980s he received repressed memories of working on the project, and his claims seemed outlandish. They experimented on children. One child had psychic abilities, and they created a time portal to 1943. But not just any moment in 1943. The portal opened up on the USS Eldridge, the subject of another famous alleged government project, the Philadelphia experiment. Proponents of the Philadelphia experiment conspiracy theory said that at the height of World War II, the U.S. conducted a series of tests to try to cloak its warships. They wanted their ships to be invisible and undetectable. In October 1943, they reportedly succeeded, but there was a side effect. The Eldridge traveled back 10 minutes in time, and the experience drove the crew mad. They were brainwashed afterwards, their memories wiped of the whole incident. A film about these alleged events, the Philadelphia experiments, was released in 1984. And wouldn't you know it, that film triggered some repressed memories in Al Bielek. Bielek began discussing those memories with the press, which brought him to the attention of Nichols. The two got in touch and together told a story that linked the Montauk Project and Philadelphia experience. Bielek had traveled through the time portal from the USS Eldridge to Montauk. The scientist at Montauk pushed him back through to Eldridge. It's easy to dismiss Nichols and Bielek's claims as pure science fiction, but the tale is so compelling, so detailed, and so unbelievable. Don't you almost want it to be true? But yeah, the Montauk Project was definitely definitely, it's very interesting. It's very interesting because if you guys watch the documentaries, I don't know, it could be just the Montauk Project. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, Ron. Children can adjust. Yeah, that's what their whole thing was. What makes it interesting is the people exploring Montauk um, have found tunnels there, but the government still says there was nothing ever there. You know, it's very interesting. Very interesting. Hey, Lily, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. But yeah, it's a very interesting place to study the Montauk incident, definitely, or incidents, project, whatever. It's very interesting. And the last thing I have for today is, of course, the Skinwalker trailer. Did you know that they're making a new trailer, or they're making a new documentary? Now, mind you, it's probably gonna suck because of the fact that they're okay with it doing it. You know what I mean? So I'm sure not everything's going to be told, but in case people don't know about Skinwalker Ranch, we'll go to, you know, inside Skinwalker Ranch, a paranormal hotbed of UFO research. Locals say the ranch has been plagued by strange creatures and cattle mutilations, as also been used for government UFO research. So what's really happening there? The long red mesas of Utah's Uinta Basin greet us as my drive, an American real estate mogul, tech investor, pulls into Fort Dutch. This is just his story. Hold on one second. Safe in the valley of the blue sky, a sharp contrast from gray storm skies at high altitudes. The sun bounced off the mesa that made the area famous for paranormal junkies and UFO enthusiasts alike. Local lore has always told the strange lights hover over this area. It's kind of like the Brown Mountains. Um, Everybody sees lights, and that a strange creature roams the wilderness here. Said to be something that was let or escaped from Skinwalker Ranch. Um, was like a little alien person, but it was weird. It was like an alien person mixed with chupacabra or something. You know what I mean? It's very weird looking. Um, Two massive concrete blockades dotted with no trespassing signs and a massive stop sign loom in the end of the road. As we rode past, a 20-foot tall black steel gate greets us. Standing in the other side is a guard carrying a black rifle. He gives us a friendly nod, and the gates slowly open. My host gives me a smile and says, "Welcome to Skinwalker Ranch." That's the gates. I mean, if there's nothing going on there, why you could a while back you could always go investigate there. Now they just shut it down since Bigelow has it. Since he bought the ranch, he hasn't opened it up to too many people. But that's slowly changing. A crew from History Channel has been filming a new documentary series that will air this year. He agreed to let me visit on the condition that I would not reveal his identity as part of this article. Well, we all know that's Bigelow. It's got to be Bigelow. I don't know. We took off in his helicopter. The owner of the ranch got. Yeah, I can't even. I'm. So, facing the reality of our mortality is sobering. The anomalies at Skinwalker Ranch, the things that have been reported there over decades, if not hundreds of years, they seem to attest to the fact that we live in a strange universe. Perhaps we are not alone, he said. Salt Lake City disappeared into the distance as we made our way to the narrow mountain pass. Perhaps there is more than meets the eye. the nature of our existence, our physical reality, it is much more complex. The nature of our consciousness and our place in the cosmos. It is funny to think that people are still asking the same questions that our species have been asking for thousands of years, he told me. I think the opportunity to take a living laboratory like the ranch, a place that seems to be a center of gravity and so much of the unexplained, it is a unique experience, he said. I managed and led an effort that I believe to be the greatest science project of all time. So that's the mountains. Yeah, I want to go. It's my favorite place. I've been saying that all this. I'm sorry to keep repeating myself, but damn it, I want to go to Skinwalker Ranch. Um, so it's been home to strange tales and everything like that. That's the ranch itself. Now, all this is all like boarded up, but there's some weird stuff on there, or in there, I should say. Uh, Decades later, things came to a head when ranchers Terry and Gwen Sherman bought the property in 1994, documented in the book Hunt for the Skinwalker. I think the Shermans were the ones, at least Gwen Sherman, was one of the ones that, oh, what was the show was called? Nick Groff's show with Katrina Whitman, Paranormal Lockdown. I think that's who owned it when they went there, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But they had their cows mutilated with surgical precision in a broad daylight, and their family was haunted by strange aerial objects. Just seeing pictures from that place and videos from that place, I get so creeped out, and I think that's why I want to go there so bad. They heard disembodied voices, experienced poltergeist activity, witnessed horrible monsters emerging from portals, and claimed they encountered a wolf that, when shot several times with a high powerful rifle at point blank range, did not die. So yeah, that's huge. Like the gates are way back here. No, that's the mountains. I don't know what this shows. Zoomed out view of the Skinwalker Ranch location in eastern, bottom a zoomed in view with red lines showing. Yeah, this is all their gates. That's what I thought. This was all their gates, and that's how big Skinwalker Ranch is. It's this big, but yet they have a whole amount of, I don't know, it's just very unusual. Experiments. Yes, exactly, Sherry. Their story became public in 1996, and the Sherman Ranch was launched into the paranormal spotlight. Weeks later, Las Vegas aerospace billionaire, oh, maybe it wasn't he owned it. Then how the hell did they get it? I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to figure things out in my head. Weeks later, Las Vegas aerospace billionaire and paranormal aficionado Robert Bigelow bought the ranch from the Shermans. Bigelow's National Institute for Discovery Science and Bigelow's Advanced Aerospace Space Studies spent more than 2 decades studying the strange anomalies that apparently occurred on the property. In 2017, the New York Times broke the story of a secretive government UFO program run by the Pentagon. Wow, really? The Pentagon counterintelligence staffer Luis Elizondo. And we all know about Elizondo and To the Stars Academy and all that good stuff. His meeting with Bigelow and learned that they wanted to start a research problem on UFOs. The program, the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Application Program, was given to Bigelow under government contract. His company received $22 million to study and generate reports on exotic science. So what do you guys think about yeah, Ron, I believe there is. I really believe there is a place like that by Mount Rainier. So what do you guys think about Bigelow? I mean, I don't know him. I don't know of him that well, but it's kind of like I have the feeling that he really wants to know what's going on, but I don't like him working with the government, but I can understand it with that amount of money. Do you know what I mean? So here's the new trailer anyway. Let's go ahead and blow that up. This is the trailer to the Skinwalker.
Global public is not ready. They have global confirmation. A lot of disturbing things will occur. It's just too powerful. Skinwalker Ranch. This is like the Area 51 of the paranormal. It was not a single phenomenon. There were a host of things that happened. Have there been experiences there that have shaken the Pentagon and CIA and other agencies? Absolutely. Nobody knows what we're dealing with. That's the bottom line. Nobody knows. This is 30 or 40 hours of material that the public has never seen before. They saw this humanoid creature crawling through this tunnel, hovering 4 feet above the ground. Something forced 4 2,000-pound bulls to cram themselves into this trailer without opening this door. It's completely impossible. I've seen things that I can't explain. This was one of the most surprising things that we recorded right after I purchased the ranch. Is it real? Oh, yes, and I believe it is. Something is here. These are real, tangible, physical events. This is game-changing. It's one thing to be reading about UFOs or other realities or interdimensionals. It's another thing to be staring at it right in the face.
So there you have it. There's the. I can't wait for it to come out. Like I said, though, you know, I know there's going to be a lot of things that aren't going to be in there because they're going to only show us what we wanted or what they want to show us. You know what I mean? What Robert Bigelow wants us to see. I don't think he's. I mean, I just get the feel that he really wants to know. He's not doing it. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys get a feel for the Skinwalker? I mean, it's creepy. Like any video that I see it's more than spirits. I feel. Yeah, exactly, Ron. Exactly. Yeah, they think we're gonna freak out, and it's one of those things where it's like when something comes out into the light, it's basically like I'm not shocked. You know what I mean? If something new came into light, it'd be like I wouldn't be shocked that there's other like species, you know what I mean? Aliens and stuff like that. It's like the statement I said before. I'm going to be really pissed off that people's lives were ruined. You know what I mean? They were put in mental asylums because they saw these things and couldn't explain it. They're looking for help. And people put them into these asylums and ruined their life and stuff. And if the government, knew that there was aliens, then these people should have never been put into institutions or their lives ruined. Now, what do you guys think about the black men in black? Do you think they're human in government or do you think they're alien? To me, I think they're kind of both. Yeah, exactly, Freaky Geek. Oh, really, Donna? That's interesting. But I'm sure um I'm sure they were only told what they needed to be told, huh, Donna? That would be interesting, smoking in G sharp, definitely. Yes, because you can plant, Freaky Geek. Yeah, exactly, Ron. That's what pisses me off even more. And that's why one of the reasons, I mean, these guys, my regulars have known, I've said this over and over again. That's why my channel is free for everybody, whatever their beliefs are, that they feel safe and can come here and talk about it, because I don't think anybody's beliefs should be held as them being crazy or anything like that. They believe it for a reason, if that makes sense. Yeah, Don, yeah. That's what I've heard, that a lot of people that worked in like Area 51 and most places that are not dealing with aliens, just, you know, stuff that we're not allowed to know about. And for good reason. Some of it's for good reason. I mean, if they're building spacecrafts to help, they obviously don't want the world to know what they're building because, duh. But um but yeah, usually people that work there are only told us specific things, the only things that they need to know. Oh wow, Donna, that's interesting. Right, Freaky Geek. I will definitely look that up, Lisa. I will definitely check that out. Well, that's the whole theory, Sherry, is like, at least most people that study the UFO or whatnot, um what I've heard is basically our government made a deal with aliens, like bad aliens, because there are bad and there are good, just like humans. And where they're allowed to take so many people for experiments. Right, Lily? Bless you, baby. Exactly. Exactly, Ron. I agree. Nice. Good, Freaky Geek. Oh, is it? I didn't even notice. That's funny. See, I'm magic. But yeah, I hope you all at least enjoyed this. I love talking about stuff like that. Oh my God, look at my hair. Holy hell. Um, yeah, oh, definitely, Sherry. Definitely. Well, see, the thing of it is Elon Musk warned everybody about the whole AI. I'm worried about AI too, but that's another time. In another place. Well, not another place, same place. But um I'm definitely worried about AI. I don't know, Freaky Geek. I don't know. But it's freaking awesome. Any little information that I can get about Skinwalker, I'll be happy with. It's just, even when people went there to investigate for the paranormal, I got a different feeling about that place. And I think that's why I'm into cryptology so much, is because of the fact that when they're studying different things, not so much with Bigfoot, but just other creatures, certain ones I have a weird feeling. No, Sherry, you don't sound nuts at all. Not at all. Exactly, Freaky Geek. But yeah, with all our cell phones and that, it's already here. Of course, Donna, go ahead. Hold on one second, Lisa. I don't know if I know about that. I mean, I could have. I dropped from the paranormal and all that from coast to coast for like 10 years. Oh, no, see, I don't read stuff like that. I don't read stuff like that, Lisa, just because of the fact that that shit scares the hell out of me. And like, I only have one big fear in my life, and that's sinkholes. That is my worst fear. I'm not scared of dying or anything like that because I've had the near death experience. I know how that feels and everything. But no, when it comes to holes, sinkholes or not, I do not like at all. Oh, oh. Yeah, there was a movie, Ron. There was. I can't remember. Hold on, let me look it up. 2013. It's just called Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know if I watched that. I'm pretty sure I probably have. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Sherry. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't been found in the oceans and stuff. Definitely. Yeah. Same here, Lisa. Oh, I don't know how many times Google Assistants come up on both mine. I told you that one night when we were downstairs. He was in bed, I was at the computer, and all of a sudden his phone started taking pictures. I think honestly, with the UFO spotting, I think they're going to increase because I think the aliens know how we feel, how we want. Welcome back, Freaky Geek. Um, they know how that we want to know about them, but again, like, you don't know what's real and what's not because according to um Stephen Greer and this whole fake alien thing going to be put on by the government, like, it's already happened. Like, you know, people were supposedly abducted by little green men, not little green men, but grays, And it wasn't aliens, it was our own government. Yeah, exactly. Nobody can ask anything because they're always going to deny it. Right? They're watching. I know. Yep, exactly. There's Eddie. There's my hubby. Yeah. It snapped 13 pics. And a video, didn't it, hon? Yep, exactly, Sherry. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I think the little green men came from the goblins at Hopkinsville. And because that was way back when. So little green men, because that's what they saw was the hobgoblins. Well, I don't know if they were hobgoblins, but they were goblins in Hopkinsville, Kansas. I thought so, yeah. Right. See, that's why I think because anytime that I've read about Men in Black, unless you're talking about Ingrid Coleman or Ingrid Cole, who was supposedly a Men in Black, he's the only one that I believe was a nice guy. Um, Anytime I've seen anything videos wise or people talking about it, the creepy feeling I get from Men in Black, I do believe they're mixed. I believe they're half alien. They could be whole alien. I don't know, but a different race like that's. But they work with the government. But there's also been government people like on Navy ships that have seen UFOs where the Men in Black have come and like in government, you're supposed to have a paper trail of who signs off on what. And they're propelled to give this information to these Men in Black. So even over government officials, you know what I mean? So yeah, exactly, Lisa. Exactly. Yeah. Freaky geek. Yeah, just like the Palladians. Freaky Geek's awesome. Blue Book, yeah. I love that show. But I'm really pissed because I watch it through Philo and like I watched that whole series just for the at the ending about the facts. I don't know if any of you guys have watched Blue Book, Project Blue Book on TV, but one of the directors of that, I don't know if you guys remember an old paranormal group. They were a bunch of cops. I forgot what the name of the show was, but one of them is one of the producers or director or something. But anyway, Project Blue Book, at the end of it, they show the series. They end the show, and then they show a picture from like back in the day of what that thing was. Right. Hey, White Wolf, how you doing? But they show a little clip of back in the day of what actually happened when it was reported and stuff like that. Well, my philo that I watch it on cuts that part off, and it's the only reason why I watch. I mean, it's a good show, but it's the only reason I watch the stupid thing, and Philo cuts it off. So I haven't, this whole series, or this whole year, the second season of it, I haven't seen the ending of it. No, you don't, Sherry. You do not sound nuts at all. Believe me, you don't. In here, beliefs are, hey, Haunted Jim, how you doing? What's going on? Everybody's belief is welcomed here. Yes, Majestic 12, definitely, White Wolf. Definitely. Yep. And they're no joke. They're no joke at all. Sounds like fun, Haunted Jim. There you go, Freaky Geek. We're all trying to figure it all out together, whether it be paranormal, UFO, cryptozoology, all that. We're trying to figure it out all together. And I'm glad I got the friends I do with you guys coming in and watching and sharing what your information with me, because that's what I love about this. This is why I started the channel too, is I wanted to pick everybody's brain. Oh, it's not a sinkhole. Okay. Well, it's still scary though. They mentioned hole and I was just like, nope. Lisa. Right. Hannah Jim, I know I almost didn't go live today because my body is just, I didn't go live Friday like I normally do. And I was planning on going live over the weekend, but it seems like since I started working the 7 days a week, 8-hour days, my body's like, no, you're sleeping. Whenever my poor hubby, I haven't been able to even spend really much time with him because I've been sleeping. But I'm glad I did go live today. Yeah. Yeah, Freaky Geek. I've been there. I know exactly what you mean. And that's what I like seeing, Sherry, too, is I don't know, a lot of you I know have been around for a while or a time or two in the whatever, Eddie. Whatever. Um what was I gonna say? Now you Oh, Sherry, yeah, what you said about you love everything about, you believe in all the unknown. Exactly, White Wolf. Exactly. Um oh, damn, Jim. Damn. But a lot of I don't understand back in the day when you either believed in paranormal, you believed in UFOs, or you believed in cryptozoology. Back in the day, you never believed in all three of them. I mean, I always have, but that was like fighting words with the paranormal world, fighting with the cryptozoology people, fighting with the UFO, the ufologists. So I'm glad that everybody's getting, the paranormal world is opening up to all the other aspects. I find it's more over the years. We're all looking for, I don't know. For the longest time, I was like, how can you believe in the paranormal and you can't believe in other things? You say they're all like, all the crypto people are nuts and all the ufologists are just crazy. And then vice versa. You know what I mean? So it's nice that people are opening up to different aspects. That's why, you know, I have the different, usually Mondays is all about paranormal talk. Today kind of led to a couple different things. Yeah, exactly. The super soldier program. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, Jim? Yeah, exactly. Yep. Arizona Lights. Yes. White Wolf. You do. That's right. Um, oh, what was I watching that did that experiment where the guy whispered and the other guy could hear him, but it wasn't by like a parabolic mic. It was by something else. I can't remember what the hell it was. But yeah, that creeped me out too. I mean, I know it's like one of those things. I know the government listens to everything. Um, but stuff like that still creeps me out. Yep. Yeah, Sherry, definitely. Exactly. Being spiritually connected. You're right, White Wolf. I mean, like, for the longest time, I mean, from the time I was 16, I was into witchcraft and nature aspects and, you know, loving, my paranormal world. And it was supposed to be like two different things. And I hated that. I'm who I am. I like believing in everything. Yeah, but it wasn't a machine smoking in G sharp. It was, can't remember what the hell it was. Um, oh, maybe a filling in a tooth. I don't know, like a filling in a tooth where the guy was like way far away, could speak, and the guy could hear him in his head. Not out loud, he could hear him in his head. God, I can't remember what the hell it was. Oh, it was just waves. No, it wasn't anything in the tooth or anything like that. It was just sound waves. They would send out sound waves, and the guy could hear it in his head. Man, that was a long time ago that I watched that. Yeah, Freaky Geek. I've heard that too. Nothing wrong with that, Sherry. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's awesome. Yeah, exactly what it does. It takes on new life does take on new meaning when you get into certain things. Yeah. And you could drive yourself crazy. I've done that too. Just thinking about things all the time, constantly. Okay, it's called Moon? Oh, great. That's lovely. Yeah. Yeah, they can smoke it in G sharp. You're right. And that's the way to do it, Sherry. That's why I tell everybody it's not wrong. Whatever you're doing is not wrong. If you're called to do it a certain way, that's why I call myself, I'm actually an eclectic solitary gray witch. I'm called to different things that could be something to do with Buddha one day, an Egyptian, Isis, or another day. It's whatever. Yeah, it's whatever I'm called to. That's why I'm eclectic. Yeah, I just remember it's been a while since I watched that. Hey, Monica, how you do that? How you do that? How you doing? Wow, it's getting close to that time. Yeah, I know rabbit holes. Damn rabbit holes. I'm not doing readings today, Monica. That's tomorrow, hon. Well, I only say I'm a gray witch because I will protect myself and my family and friends at all costs. So I'm not worried about you. I'm not worried about the repercussions of using dark magic. I never had to, but I will. I know about it. I've studied it, so I just say gray witch. Yeah, it is. It is. I've heard of that, Lisa. I've heard of that. Exactly, White Wolf. Exactly. Yeah, we were talking. Mondays is usually paranormal talk. I mean, we've kind of gone off that subject. I mean, we're still on that subject, but with a broader. Yeah, Mondays is usually paranormal. Wednesdays is usually what if Wednesdays. Like that could be anything. Usually it's cryptozoology or UFOs or anything like that. And then Fridays, my freaky news. That could be anything too. Yeah, gray is good. I like gray. There you go. See, okay, I'll know that. I'm duly noted, Haunted Jim, that I'll always keep Doritos around. Exactly, Sherry. Exactly. We are all equal, no matter what. Oh, Monica, don't worry about it, hon. It's nothing bad. But I'll always remember to keep Doritos. Always. Exactly. Exactly, White Wolf. I just want to learn everything I can about anything with going to Skinwalker Ranch as one of these lifetimes. Right, Sherry? With that being said, guys, it is 12, almost 12:30 here. Ooh, I've been on 2.5 hours. I thank you all so much for coming in. I love hearing your guys' ideas, what you think about things. That's what I do. I just love picking brains, man. And it's nice to know that I'm not, nuts. No. I know. We're always goofy, but of course you know me. I'm always goofy. Always. But I thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it so much. I've enjoyed this stream very much. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, White Wolf. I hope so. I would love to. That's my dream. If I had all the money in the world, I'd go, even though I hate flying, I would go everywhere that I could to investigate, whether it be doing cryptozoology, UFO, or paranormal. I want to do it all. But anyway, you are all thank you. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Tomorrow is Tarot Tuesday. So if anybody wants readings, come on back and we'll do some. I know what you meant, Eddie. You're goofy too. That's why I felt one of the reasons I fell in love with you. Tomorrow I do. That's true, Lisa. That's true. Yes, there's still some fighting going on, but it's not like it used to be back in the day. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, Lisa, Harp. I live 3 hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours away from Harp. All right, cool. Cool, Jim. Thank you all so much for being here. I love you guys so much. And until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, guys. Be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love